Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and welcome to my great big review of the MäksēLife 2023 planners. I have almost every single thing that is going to launch on October 20th, with the exception of the dot grid notebooks and a weekly planning sticky pad, but I have everything else, so let's dive in. First up is the Flagship planner, the original MäksēLife planner, and this year you're going to be able to choose from 4 different cover designs. The box that your planner comes in will coordinate with what is inside the cover design, like the lining inside the cover. So this cover is called Blackberry Fields. This is an original artist design. Cindy, who I can't pronounce her last name correctly probably, but she is Llama Letters, and I'm sure you've heard of her. She's the artist on this one, but there's also a watercolor sunrise, a leatherette storm, and a modern chevron cover. It's a 7x9 planner, and the price on this is going to be $76. As you open up this Blackberry Fields cover, you'll notice that the inside of that front cover matches the box. So depending on the planner that you choose, you're going to get a different design of box. It's going to coordinate with the inside of your cover. Keep your box, by the way, because it's a great storage box and it's very heavy duty. If you're new to MäksēLife, I just want to tell you that the core of this planning system is the goal planning aspect of it. So it's developed by a wonderful person named Sierra Friend, who is a life coach, and she has spent so many years as a life coach helping others that she has really been able to come up with a great goal setting system combined with a planner. So all of these introductory pages, which I'm not going to read to you, but I'm going to give you the gist of what is on these pages. These all help you to get the most out of your MäksēLife planner and to set annual goals, which are going to get divided and made smaller throughout your months and weeks ahead. But let me just tell you, at the core of this goal system is a diagram called the Life Compass. And the Life Compass is divided into 8 areas of life. And these areas of life are common to most people. For example, spiritual and personal growth. To me, this has to do with my Christian faith, but for somebody else, it may be completely different. And your physical environment, for me, this has to do with my home where I live, and I think for most people it is. But, we are homeowners, we're empty nesters. My physical environment goals are going to be so much different than somebody else, like a single person who is renting an apartment or whatever. They're not necessarily going to be planning any home improvements. So what I'm getting at is these things are kind of general categories that apply to most people. You can customize them or personalize them to make them work better for you. But here's how this compass works. You're going to take an initial assessment, taking a look at your life. This is a wonderful thing to do at the beginning of the year, but really you could do it anytime during the year. Like you could do it at the beginning of a new quarter or just in the middle of some random month. It really doesn't matter. But the way you come up with a score that you're going to plot on this compass is by asking yourself questions about the way things are for you currently. How satisfied are you in these specific parts of all 8 categories? And then you're going to come up with a score. You're going to take the average of that score and plot it on your compass right here. And then that compass is not going away, because every quarter you'll get an opportunity to reevaluate and fill out that compass again to see if any areas have gotten stronger for you or weaker. It just depends on what your focus has been for the preceding months. And I always recommend to people, keep this assessment scoring area. In fact, maybe even make a few copies of this, because although you're going to be able to revisit your compass assessment at the end of the 3rd month, we're going to get a quarterly review and an opportunity to do a quarterly compass. And you're going to list your current score, compare those to your previous score. So in the first quarter, that previous score will be at the very beginning of the planner. But the thing that you don't get is all of these questions. You're really, if you're not going to answer the questions again, you're just going to give yourself an overall general impression that you have about your score. So I really, because I'm a data collecting type person and I like things to be sort of scientifically accurate, I like to actually answer the exact same questions again 3 months later before I come up with my current score for the compass. Does that make sense? I would save these and just on a piece of scrap paper answer these questions to come up with a really good comparison of where you are in these areas. If you've seen growth or if you've seen some things kind of slip back. Does that make sense? I hope that's helpful because to me, this is the most helpful part of helping me to determine what I'm going to do with this compass. So let's say that you've come up with your average score and it's a 5 in personal growth. What you do is color in or shade in this part of the compass to the number 5, which you can barely see, but the numbers are hard to see, but you can clearly see these lines. So just count 5 and then shade it in that much. So your compass shaded in might look something like this. That's just an example. And you're going to compare that every quarter. Beyond the compass assessment, you'll be able to set your intentions. You'll get some really helpful information on how to set goals, a good way to set goals, and even better ways to word goals than others. So you've got do's and don'ts here. So this would be the good way of writing a goal. This would be the vague or not too helpful way to write a goal. So instead of get rid of clutter, you might say clean my garage this weekend. Instead of don't be on my phone before bed, you might instead say leave my phone in the kitchen at night. So there are so many helpful real life examples that can help you to articulate your goals in the best possible way. And then you get information on types of goals, stretch goals, progress goals, and maintenance goals. And Sierra is so great about explaining those things and kind of helping you to not beat yourself up if you have not run a marathon, for example, after the first quarter of the year, or, like running a marathon in my case would be beyond a stretch goal. It would be like so major. It would be a stretch and almost break me goal. So, but you are trying to appropriately make goals that are within reach, that might push you just a little or stretch you just a little, but they are attainable. And all of this stuff that has been information in the past MäksēLife planners has gotten kind of a facelift. So it's kind of user-friendly. To me, it's very visually pleasing. I love the way that this information is laid out this year. It's just kind of a formatting change that I think is a big improvement. So you're just going to notice that. I think most of this stuff is the same, with the exception of a little bit of tweaking that may have taken place, but it's formatted on the page to make it so much easier for you to understand it and implement it. And then I love here, this was one of my favorite things that I saw in last year's planner. I love the ideas that are given here in these boxes that correlate to those 8 different areas of life. So she gives you examples of what might be personal in your life. So for the personal part of that assessment tool, you might be considering your self-image, self-worth, self-love, self-care, confidence, happiness, peace, fulfillment, well-being, mental stimulation, hobbies, projects, creativity, alone time. Yes, for me, introvert here. Support, sense of community, routines, attitude, perspective, grace, and planning. And let's look over here at spiritual and personal growth. So this is one of those that kind of manifests in different ways for different people. Spirituality, religion, faith, prayer, gratitude, meditation, nature, reflection, personal development, growth, self-actualization, compassion for self, compassion for others, charity, surrender, purpose, process, journaling, service, acts of kindness. I mean, so many ideas for how you might choose to kind of hone in on what it means to develop the spiritual area of your life, the fun and recreation, family, work, health, financial, and physical environment areas of life. So I really appreciate that. And then this is kind of a vision boarding area. Or no, it's not. There is a better or bigger vision boarding area, I think. So you use this space to list or mind map ideas and dreams and goals for the coming year. I would call this a kind of a brain dump area. But if you are one of those people that does a mind map, this will be the page for that. And then here is where you set annual goals. I'll be honest, this is the hardest thing for me. Annual goals is the hardest thing for me. I think I could really fill out annual goals better in some areas that I could in others. So for work and learning, annual goals is a whole lot easier for me than personal goals, family relationships. Some of these things are just kind of fluid all the time, changing all the time. But you can do it. And she gives you tips for how you can set these goals. Financial goals, that's something that's, I love to set financial goals. I don't always meet them, but I love to set them. Here's your vision board. So my vision board in the past has been pictures from the internet that speak to the goals that I have set here. So things that are important to me, and especially when you filled out your intentions page, because you want your goals to line up with your values. You know, if you're setting goals that are like somebody else's sort of goal, it's not going to happen. And it's not going to be fulfilling for you if it does happen. So when you look at your intentions page and you're setting your goals, you want these things to line up with each other. And then visually, what embodies those things for you? So this is fun. You might think, oh, I don't need to do that part. I can just skip to the next fill in the blank. But I wouldn't skip this. I would do the vision board, cut out pictures. You can use magazines. You can use the internet. You can just use anything that you like, pictures from your phone, whatever. But what is something that you can kind of rest your eyes on that embodies things that relate to your intentions, your values, and your goals for the year? And then you go into the first month, but you've got some quick tips here for goal setting. So it says, make this space your own. This is your sacred space to dream and manage your life. Find what works best for you and make adjustments where necessary. And then that's just the first tip. There are tons of good tips here. And you've got quotes on every monthly page, like monthly tabbed page, a little inspiration for the month, but wait till you see what you get every single week. So here is your monthly spread, and I'm noticing that the paper feels the same weight. It is an 80-pound paper, I believe. It's a nice thick paper, feels good. But the tabbed pages are not thicker. I think that's probably important because of all the extra things you get every single week. You would really have a bulked up planner if your monthly tabbed pages were thicker, I'm imagining. But anyway, this is the color scheme. It's not very over the top, is it? It's really minimal. So this is January. The monthly calendar does have a Sunday start, and it has some of your major holidays on the page already. You get a mini calendar of the month to come, and then a quote up at the top here. So if you're a decorator, you might be covering this up with washi tape, or if you're a minimal planner and you just like to use some highlighter and pen, then this is your look. And you've got a notes sidebar right here. Then we're gonna have some monthly goals. So these are the January goals, and you can refer back to your annual goals, break them down. You might decide you want to divide an annual goal by 12 and give it 1 month's worth of progress, or you might just kind of vaguely connect your January goals to your annual goals. Like if your annual goals are not like numerous, if you have one general annual goal to make progress in a certain area, then you have lots of choices for what you're going to be putting in your monthly goals. That's not necessarily advice from Sierra. That is just, advice from me or a thought from me. Now, when you get on this page, and you probably noticed this before also, the color coding is important in MäksēLife because the colors that you see here correspond to the colors on that wheel, the assessment wheel, your life compass wheel. And the colors have changed a little bit this year, but they haven't changed much. The biggest change that I see is that the fun and recreation category is less orange and more of a coral. Work and learning looks very similar. Family and relationships used to be a little bit more purple, in my opinion, and now it's kind of a grayish purple. Health and wellness looks the same to me. It's kind of a navy blue. Spiritual and personal growth has always been kind of an aqua color. To me, it looks a little less bright and more deep this time. Financial looks very similar. Physical environment looks very similar. But let me tell you the exciting reason why they've changed these colors. You're going to be able to get, and I don't have it now because none of the affiliates were able to get them in time to do these reviews prior to launch, but you're going to be able to get a set of Moxie markers that perfectly coordinate with these colors. And they are similar in their shape and their look to mild liners, but they're not affiliated with mild liner. This is just a specific MäksēLife pen that is going to help you to highlight and decorate or color code on pages that there is no color coding already. Like, for example, if you get onto a certain daily spread and one of the actions that you're doing that day connects to your personal area of life, then you might highlight that with the gold Moxie marker. And on the Moxie marker, it's even going to say personal. Like, it might say the color, I don't even know. I just know that the Moxie marker says, this is your personal Moxie marker. This is your fun and recreation one, and that'll be the color of it. This is your work and learning marker. Is that fun or what? Because a lot of us who love planners also love pens. We're going to love that color coding aspect when the Moxie markers come. I have ordered some, and I can't wait to actually use them. So you had another quote up here. This one's from Maya Angelou. Quotes, motivation, tips, all over the place in your flagship planner. This is what I was referring to a minute ago when I said, wait till you see what's coming up. Every week you get a tip here from Sierra. And these tips are unique every single time. They're not just repeats. So you get this reflections page every single week where you can think about, journal about what did work and what didn't work last week or just in the past, what you're hoping, what you've learned, and what adjustments you might need to make. This is kind of a page to reflect on that. But look at this. Let's just read one of these, but you'll get 52 of them. Dedicating 10 to 15 minutes a week to set your goals will give you more control, balance, and fulfillment in your life. Set yourself up for success by determining the day and time that works best with your lifestyle to sit down and write out your goals. Schedule it in advance and commit to this investment in your future self. So here, if that's not motivating, I don't know what is. She's got a bunch of those in here. And then this is your weekly actions page for the first week of January. Actually, it's the last week of December. It only hits on January 1st because it starts on December 26th. Now you're going to have your choice of layout. I've chosen horizontal this year, but in the past I've had vertical. And I have just seen on Instagram so many great things that people have done with this horizontal layout that I really wanted to give it a try. So you've got Monday through Thursday on the left, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on the right, a note section, and a habit tracking section. So your horizontal days here are lined, and then there's a blank box here that you can either put a sticker, you could put a quote, you could put a reminder, you could put an appointment, anything you want to over here. Your exercise, your meals, you name it. And then each day has a little heart on it. And in the past, I think this heart referred to like what's your grateful thought of the day, but you can use that any way you want. So, your section is lined here. This works great, I think, for journaling, but also for just using it as a regular planner. You could put times in here, you could put appointments, but I think that what I will do, because I already use my Erin Condren planner so much, that's for appointments and stuff, but it's not so much for my goals. So I think what I'll do with this horizontal layout is talk about daily reflections on the progress that I'm making on my goals. Some of you guys know that I've been rewriting an old prayer book and putting it into a modern translation. And then I'm also working on writing my own prayer book. Well, my life is super busy, and I'm sure yours is also. And it seems like my to-do list is always so organized and I'm on top of it. But my goals, like finishing this book, just sit on the shelf and don't get done. I'm also a composer. I write a lot of music. And so I'm hoping that by using my MäksēLife this year as really just goal specific, I'm going to see some more progress in these areas and they kind of fall under work and learning or personal, I think mostly those two things. But I'm hoping that by using this planner to actually write, what did I do toward my goal? Even if it was a baby step. Like I opened up my computer and I saw where I ended 5 months ago when I last worked on this project. At least that's something. That's a little baby step. And I want to just have a place where I'm keeping track of that. So every week you're going to get weekly actions, further breaking down your goals. So your January goals were here. So you want to probably look at these whenever you're filling out a new week's worth of weekly actions, just to touch base, making sure that you're actually keeping with what you set out to do. But at the same time, if you get going and you find out, well, this goal is just not doing it for me, I don't feel like this is relevant for me like I first did, then just scrap that goal and do a new one. It's okay. You know, we never really map out our lives completely. You know, there's a scripture that says, we make our plans, but the Lord establishes our steps. There are so many ways to look at that verse, but what I'm thinking right now is that, yes, I have these goals for I want to have this book finished. I want to have that book finished. I want to write a new collection of student piano pieces by X date. But you know what? Life happens. Your family happens. Illnesses might happen. Different things at work than what you were expecting might happen. And so these things are always in flux. So be flexible. But I'm just flipping through here to show you that every week you're going to have that same thing. You always get that weekly reflections, your weekly actions. And I love that the weekly actions page gives you the dates of the week that is right after it. Okay, so at the end of the week, there's a reflections page, and it says my biggest wins, things that are currently working for me, things that are not working, what I learned this month, what improvements or adjustments do I need to make going into the next month, what am I most grateful for right now, habits I want to nurture next month, and an area I want to focus on next month. And then you can rate my overall satisfaction for this month. You're not really rating yourself, but you're rating your satisfaction. So now let's start flipping through with just the monthly layout. February is kind of pink. March is green, but it's faint. You might not even be able to see it. April is kind of gray. May is gold. June is a little bit of a teal. July is more like a navy. August is kind of purple or lilac. September is gray. October is coral or orange. November is teal again. And December is red. So let's just look at the end of the quarters one more time. So every 3 months is a quarter. At the end of March, you're going to be doing a quarterly compass just to check in. So here is your second quarter. It even says Q2, quarter 2. And then at the end of September, you'll have your third quarter assessment. And at the end of December, fourth quarter assessment. And it says extras on this tab. And you've got all of 2023 in mini months and all of 2024. And it looks like these colors are corresponding to what we saw on the monthly spread. Okay. And you've got a space for important dates here. I like how these are all different colors. I think that's just really attractive and, I don't know, pleasing to the eye, but it's not over the top colorful. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 notes pages. and then a double-sided pocket page. It's kind of a coated material here. It's just a functional pocket. You get a coiled in sticker sheet, and these are the updated MäksēLife colors here. And they're going to correspond with your Mäksē markers if you get those. And then you've got a pocket that is super expandable. And it looks like there is a little bit of satin here, satin coating or covering on this part of the expander. And then this is just, you know, it's a little bit slick. So I think if you did a little spill, not a huge spill, but if you spilled a little drop of coffee or something, you're going to be able to wipe that off. And then every MäksēLife flagship planner comes with a strap built in. So it's hooked into the back of the cover. And then it says MäksēLife here in gold metallic on the back. And I love it. This is really nice. Now, I bet you might want to see a pen test, but this video is really long. I will tell you, though, that I did a pen test before. I've done at least one pen test in this MäksēLife planner. The paper feels great. It's smoother than Erin Condren paper. It feels a little bit like the Ashley Shelley paper, if you're familiar with her planner. And it's a nice, smooth paper. It feels a little bit like Laurel Denise's paper as well. And it is really fun to write on. It feels good. Stickers adhere really well to MäksēLife paper. So I have found that when I sticker in my MäksēLife, if I want to remove the sticker, you want to reposition it pretty quickly because it sticks to this paper. There are 4 other covers. Here is a low quality printout of the other covers, so you probably can't get a great idea of what they look like here, but never fear, there are loads of affiliates, and we all have our own style, and we've all just kind of picked different covers. When I saw this one in person, or not in person, but on Instagram, Hand Cam Plan showed this one. It was gorgeous. And I think Saray Bailey has this one here that's a watercolor with a quote. And then if you're all minimal, then you want this storm cover most likely. So let's go on to the next option that you have. This is the Undated Daily. And you'll see right away that there are some different things about this when you compare it to the flagship. It's smaller for one thing. This is an A5 size. It is coiled instead of O-ring bound like the flagship was. It's a solid color here. This one's called Sky, I think. The 4 options that you have for covers are Sky, Storm, Cloud, and Luna. They're all beautiful and they all look really good together. Now this covers a quarter of a year, so 3 months. It's undated and it's a daily planner. So if you prefer daily to weekly, this is what you're going to want to get. And on the inside of this one, we've got this kind of design. And I think you'll see this in another item that I'm going to show. This is the Undated Daily. There have been some improvements made to this. For one thing, the cover is not as rubberized as last year's version of this. So some people were having a hard time turning the cover because it would like grip a little bit too much and cling to this coil. They fixed that this year. So the cover does feel a little bit different. And I hope you can see here that MäksēLife is debossed right here, or embossed. I don't really know which word is proper there. We're not going to go over all of these goal setting pages because they're the same as in the flagship planner. It's just in smaller print, but the core life compass goal setting mechanisms are all in place here. All of the same tips for setting goals, all of the same tools for like mind mapping and vision boarding, all of that. So you've got your annual goals here, and I suppose you're going to have your annual goals in all 4 of these because I don't think they come in any particular order. Like this one's Sky. I don't think this is meant for January. I think it's meant for any time you want to start it because it's undated. Monthly goals come right after the tab. No, they don't. The calendar comes right after the tab. And it is completely blank. So you'll fill in what month it's for, and then you will write in or sticker in the days. And then you have a sidebar over here on the right. Here are the monthly goals, all color-coded with the slightly tweaked 2023 MäksēLife colors. Weekly actions page is the same. Weekly reflections. Now, this is not the same, though. You're not going to get that tip or quote at the bottom of the weekly reflections page. So I think that is one thing that I would miss in this version compared to the flagship, because I really do love those quotes. They're great. And then here's what the layout looks like. So you get a weekly overview, and you will date it yourself the week of what. You can choose a focus for the week, and then your weekly overview right here. Starts with Monday and ends with Sunday. And then your daily looks like this. There's a checklist on the left, a place for your date, your focus, your top 3 or whatever you want to use these 3 dots for. And then you've got a blank timed area. So you can continue on your checklist and use this for checklist, but very faintly you'll be able to see here that there's the little dots here for a time if you wanted to use this for a schedule. And then a dot grid area at the bottom with 3 little spaces here that would fit 1.5 wide stickers perfectly if you choose to use those. I am a person who likes to write my memory verse every day, so I would likely use the dot grid for writing my memory verse. And you could even write, if you had like 3 appointments or something, you could put those on appointment stickers and stick them right here, or put them up here on the timed area, and then put your to-do list there. So the color in here is very faint. This is like a bluish gray color. And all of your days are going to look like this. And I don't know what the weekend looks like. Let's check it out. Yeah, you don't have a combined weekend. So every day gets a full page. Then you're on to the next weekly reflections and weekly actions moving forward. So every day looks like this. The tabs don't say anything because you're going to decide when you're going to start this planner, but there are stickers for you in the back of the planner to put on these tabs. The monthly color scheme does not change. So it's the same every month. In the past, you've been able to buy sticker sheets that have just the dots, and they come in different colors, like the date dots. So I'm not sure if those are still available, but you can, if you wanted to add a little bit of color to each month, like if you wanted the first month to be blue, the second month to be green, and the third month to be red, you could do that with those stickers. And I'm not sure if those are still offered. All right, so when we get back here to the back, it says assessment. So this is your next quarterly assessment. One change here, or one difference, I think it might have been the same last year in the Undated daily, but one thing that is different from the flagship planner is that your quarterly assessment is like this and this are all on the same page. So it's kind of a bigger quarterly assessment. And you have here, what personal actions contributed most to the results that I found? 3 words to describe how I generally felt over the last 90 days. And where is my biggest opportunity for growth? What area of life will be my main focus over the next 90 days? And then extras back here, look what you get. Month, month, month. You can just like use this for future planning if you want to, or you could cover that up and use this for like a certain area of life and future plans or goals that you want in those. And then notes pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a lot, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So more notes pages in this than in the flagship. Here are the stickers for your tabs. So there are 2 for each month. So you can put one on the front of the tab. This says January. If I put it on top of this dark background, I think you'll be able to see it. It's a clear sticker that says January in white, and it will pop on this dark tab. So hopefully you can see that. And you have one for the front of the tab and one for the back of the tab. So you'll have more stickers than you need. You've got enough for any month. In fact, let's say that you used this in February, then you skipped a month and you came back and used it in April. It doesn't matter. You can just customize it completely. And then you have a double-sided pocket page and one sticker sheet with the revised colors. And then you have a nice, very expandable pocket, just like you do in the Flagship, with this little satin finish here on the expander part and the built-in strap. The price on the Undated Quarterly Daily Planner is $58. And this one weighs about 1.5 pounds, not quite. The Flagship planner is double that weight, and it's, of course, for the whole year. You would, in theory, want 4 of these if you were going to use this through all of 2023. So this is $58 for this one. The coil is silver, and I think all of the coils are going to be silver. I don't think you'll have a choice on that. These are the MäksēLife companion notebooks, not completely new here, but this is completely new. These have been updated and improved. So this is a totally new product, and these have gotten a substantial facelift. So let's go into what these are about. Here's what comes in the set of quarterly companion notebooks. You actually get 5 books. The first one is for your annual goals and also instructions. Then the other 4 are a quarter or 3 months worth of all of the pages except calendar pages that you would get in the Flagship planner or that daily planner. So for example, here's what you would get. And I just want to say, these covers are so amazing. They have been upgraded big time so that now it is a leatherette cover. And you've got a quote here that is kind of embossed that says, "Your only limit is your mind. Trust the timing of your life. Good things take time. Just begin again and again." Okay, so this is so beautiful. And what you get in here is perforated pages for one thing. So if you want to add these to your A5 ring system, you could easily do that. So you get an undated monthly calendar, but that's it for the calendars. There will be 3 in this book, but that's it. You won't get any weekly or daily pages, but you get all the same goal setting pages. So this is monthly goals, exactly like what you get in the planners. The weekly actions and the weekly reflections page, the same, but without, just like in the daily, it does not have that tip of the week at the bottom. You don't get that in these either. And then you just continue through, and it's a bunch of weekly actions pages until you get to the next month. So you can reflect on the month here, just like you could if you were using the MäksēLife planner. And then you have a monthly calendar here. You can skip this if you already have a planner that you like. But these companion notebooks are great. This is what I used last year. These are great for people who already have a planner that they love and they don't really want to switch planners, but they would like to implement Sierra's goal system. This is a great way to do that. And you can get the whole year's worth of these for $58. So this set here is $58. These 5 books, leatherette books, nice and durable. These covers are so nice that I think even if I had a planner that I was already using, I would do differently than I did last year, because I tore them out last year and added them into my A5 agenda, just punched holes, and then they fit just fine. The width is a little bit different. So if you like fold along this perforated edge here and then you tear this page out, the size of your page is going to be correct height-wise, but it will be a little narrow, about a 1/4 inch more narrow than your other A5 agenda pages. You know, if that doesn't bother you, then you're good to go. But what I did last year was actually unbind these booklets so that I could use this little perforated area and punch my holes right there. And that way my pages fit a little bit more perfectly. But I think with this leatherette binding here, I would just tuck this in with my agenda and not tear these out at all. I think I would just, I don't know for sure, but I think I would leave them in here. So in a nutshell, it's a bunch of weekly actions pages and monthly actions pages and a quarterly assessment. And you have a way to make them correlate with your annual goals as well, because it comes with an annual goals booklet. So you have the entire goal setting system this way. You just don't have the planner. So this is the instruction book and also the annual goals book. So here's what you do. You get all of the instructions, just like in the planner, for how to set good goals, how to do your initial assessment, all of the questions that you would ask for your initial assessment, your intention setting, goal setting tips, annual goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, or weekly actions, all the instruction and information that you have there, all, basically every single thing that you have in the planner. Annual goals. So everything that you would have at the beginning of the daily or the beginning of the weekly flagship planner is in this book. And then these books are everything that you would have between your weeks. And she's thrown in those monthly undated calendars, which I don't even think is necessary in this, but you could, it might be helpful for you. So these companion notebooks are beautiful on their own to just tuck into whatever agenda or planner that you currently use if you don't want to change planners. But look what they have come up with now, an agenda to house them in. So I've already put 2 things in this agenda, but let's just take a look here. They come in 2 colors. Luna is the name of this color. You can also get it in Storm. So this is Luna, and these aren't exactly the same thing, but Storm would be like this. This is Sky. And by the way, now that we're talking about the colors, this is Sky, and look how this matches. So, there's definitely a tying together of the different components that you might try to add into your planning system. But anyway, this is Luna, and it also comes in Storm. It's a magnetic closure, and it's a vegan leather with a Saffiano texture. So hopefully you can see that texture. Feels nice. It says MäksēLife right here, embossed or debossed, whatever the correct word is. I don't know what it is. But then when you open it up, you have more of a felt texture here, or suede. It's a little bit like a faux suede, but not really. I would just call it a soft fabric right here. And this is probably Sky. Let's just see here. Yeah, so you've got Sky on the inside and Luna on the outside on this one. I'm not sure what's on the inside of Storm. And I have added 2 additional products that we're going to go over in a second to this book, or to the agenda. Let's take those out. You could actually put all of your companion notebooks in here. You can use each of these 4 elastic straps to hold one of these companion notebooks. And all you do is hold the elastic and find the approximate center of the book and feed it through, and then it's going to be secure in here. So we're getting to the 4th one now. The elastic feels very good. I don't feel like I'm giving it too much pressure. Okay, so there are your 4 companion notebooks. Those fit in here perfectly. So I would give it a little bit of time to get used to how full it is, and I think the magnet's going to work just fine. It probably has to do with how much bend this area had. Yeah, see, it's starting to stick now, but it's staying closed now. Okay, so let's look at the inside of this. You can hold the 4 books, any A5 books, in fact. So there are some dot grid journals that are going to be launching on the 20th. If you don't get these companion notebooks, you could use it just for A5 journals of any type. They don't even have to be in the MäksēLife brand. You could just put them in here. You have a large pocket here and 3 kind of credit card, gift card type pockets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4 pockets. And a nice pocket there. You've got a pocket here. I don't think it's going to hold anything really large. It's kind of a snug fit. So I would just put like slips of paper back here, maybe a sticker sheet, maybe a ruler, something like that. Not a big book or anything back there. And then same thing here. I wouldn't put anything really big because then you're going to bulk it up even more. And we want that magnet to stay shut. Yeah, so don't bulk it up too much if you've got all 4 of these elastic bands holding a book. And then in the back, you have this pocket here, which looks just like this one, the large one, except no credit card slots. And let's feel this. You've got a pocket that you can access from the inside. It's not open on this side. So whatever you stick back in here, you're going to access from the middle of the open agenda. Then there's a pen loop. So let's put a few pens down in there and see how it goes. This is a Pilot G2. That fits fine. Let's see if our agenda will still close. Okay, it is now. I think what it is whatever you add to it, your agenda needs to get used to it. And kind of, you know, like when you try on a new shoe and it's a little bit stiff, and then it just gets used to the size of your foot and the shape of your foot, and then it fits fine. I think that's what we're dealing with here because now it's staying closed. All right, so it's a brand new agenda, and I think that's what's going on. And then let's just say we had another type of a pen. I've got a Avery permanent pen here. That's just a little bit thinner than the other one was. Got this pen. All my pens seem to be fitting. Let's try an Inkjoy gel. Yep, that fits. Okay, so nice pen loop. And just look at these beautiful calming colors. These are just really beautiful colors. Now let's see if it's going to, yeah, it's staying shut, no trouble now. So I think it's just new, and you're going to be just kind of getting it used to what it's holding. They're getting to know each other. The price on the agenda or the folio, it's called a Moxie Planner Folio, is $42. 2 colors, Storm or Luna. And then the companion notebooks, the set is $58. Of course, this 5th book is not going to go on one of the straps because it has only 4 straps. In truth, now that I'm thinking about it, why would we want all 4 of our companion notebooks in here at one time? I think we would really just want the current quarter and possibly the upcoming quarter. I think the smartest thing to do would be to put the annual thing in here so you can always refer back to your annual goals and your vision board, and then your current one. I think maybe 1 or 2 of these plus the annual one, and then a notebook, or let me show you what else you might put in there. These are daily reflections books. So actually this one's daily intentions, this one's daily reflections. This one's meant for the morning, this one's meant for the evening. So you've got this one in Sky, this one in, let's call it Storm. You are going to be able to start off the day right with this. I was really excited to get these because I like to write constantly. In fact, whenever my husband and I are retiring for the evening, going to our bedroom to watch a little TV or whatever, I'm always wanting to have a planner with me or a notebook with me because I'm jotting down things that I remember from the day, ideas about what I want to do tomorrow and all that. Well, I think this would be a great thing. When we're having our coffee in the morning, I could look at my daily intentions notebook. So here's what this is. It's another like vegan leather cover. And this is slick right here. This lining is slick. And then what's inside is, well, you've got a place for your name. You've got a daily page on each side. So this is one day here on the left, and this is one day. So here's what they look like. How am I feeling today? This is like, you know, you wake up in the morning, you're just starting off with these questions. How do I want to feel? What do I need today to feel good? What do I want to attract to myself today? Today, I will let go of or say no to what? Today, I will embrace what? Who is someone I want to make a mindful connection with today? What is something I can do in 15 minutes or less today that will positively impact my life? Today's mantra or affirmation, well, in the case of Plan Sarah Plan here, it would be my daily memory verse. It would just be a great place to write that. And then it's the exact same thing here. So you have a bunch of pages in here. I don't really know how many pages. 60 days. It has 60 days worth. So if you don't use it every day, it will last you longer than 2 months. If you use it every single day, it will last you 2 months. It's just 60 pages of daily intentions. I'm excited about this. And then what do you do after you've gone to work or you've done whatever it is, working from home, and now it's the end of the day and you want to reflect. So you're going to do some gratitude and reflection in this one. And it's got that same slick page right there. That's slick right there. Vegan leather cover. And looky here. Each evening you've got this. How I felt today. What was my energy level? And you score it on a scale of 1 to 10. Your mood from 1 to 10. Today I'm grateful for the following. Bam. Love this. This is my favorite part of it already. Today I'm grateful for the following. Something that brought me joy. Love that. Today's wins. How I grew today. Today I'm proud of myself for what? What is something I can do tomorrow to make it a good day? So I love this evening recap. I'm not a mood tracker person. I try not to focus on like self-evaluation too much. I try to focus more on others, hopefully. I mean, that's what I try to do because I tend to think about myself and my own growth too much, I think. And so I try not to just be super hyper aware of my mood every moment. So I'm not that much into mood trackers, but this other stuff, like how I felt today, that's fine, Energy level, that's important because, you might be able to trace that back to whether or not you were exercising, and even your mood, you could trace that back to whether or not you've been eating a healthy diet or exercising too. But I love the place for gratitude. It's got an area for 5 different items. Something that brought me joy. I just love all of this. I think that's really great. And this is also a 60-page book. It's A5 size. These are going to be $16 each. And these would be great to put inside the folio. So let's rearrange the folio. Okay, so I just realized something. When you don't put all 4 of the companion notebooks in here, it does close a lot easier. So now I have 1 companion notebook, and I have the daily intentions and the evening reflections. So here are my daily intentions. This is what I would use in the morning. Daily reflections, or I would even call that evening reflections, and gratitude. Then here is the annual goals book. So I think it would be nice to have this on hand so that I can look at my initial assessment, but my annual goals, because those things are probably going to undergo some modification throughout the year. And I just want to have them close by to check in with them. And then 1 companion notebook instead of all 4. So this is where you would have your monthly goals and weekly actions pages, enough for 3 months. So these 4 books all fit nicely, and you saw how that magnetic closure just went right to it. And that's probably a combination of things. Like I did work with it just a little bit when I first put all 4 companion notebooks in here, worked with it a little bit, but also some books are thinner than others, like the annual goals book is a little bit thinner. So in addition to the Moxie markers, there's this nice accessory that's also launching. I love this. I love this. It's a metal bookmark that hooks onto a page, or you just slide it in if you want to. But this little part with the MäksēLife emblem will hook onto one of your pages. And you have stencils where you can do checklists made of little boxes, hexagons, hearts, or circles. Love that. And then you've got little boxes here that you could write in. You could outline one and then write an appointment in there. Slightly larger box, slightly skinnier box, super skinny little flag here, and then one that just sort of points So this is my favorite shape right here to use. I love that. And then this one is just one that kind of points. Then a small little flag that you could add, like you could stencil this box, then add a little flag to the corner, or an even littler flag, or this style, or this bigger one here. I love this stencil bookmark. I'm super excited about this. It's going to sell for $12, 2.5 inches by 8 inches, but it does weigh 0.07 pounds. Nice to have the product weight there. Here's a picture of the Moxie markers. It's not a vivid picture because I just printed this off quickly. You can go on to Instagram and to the MäksēLife Instagram page to see a really high resolution picture of the Moxie markers. And every one of these pens has the area of life, one of the 8, on it. And there's a 9th pen included also. So one for every one of the 8 areas in the MäksēLife compass assessment, in addition to just a simple gray one. So the Moxie markers are going to be $24. You could also get a weekly overview sticky notepad. You could keep your weekly schedule in view that way if you don't have a planner to go along with those companion notebooks. That's going to be $10, and it's A5 size, and it has 60 sheets in it. And there's a freebie being offered for anyone who spends $50 while supplies last. If you spend $50 on your order, which is not going to be hard to do, you're going to get this free 2022 year-end reflections notebook. So as you're gearing up for 2023, you're not going to kick 2022 out the door so fast. You're going to reflect a little bit. So a little note from Sierra about reviewing, reflecting, and celebrating your progress. So this is a freebie that you will get with your order. It's in the Luna color, more or less. It's like a little bit darker than this Vegan Leather Luna. You might fill it out and put it in the back of your 2022 planner. Let's just pretend that this is 2022. You go to the back, and this is your farewell to 2022. This is everything that I have, and to me it is a lot. I'm really loving the color of this Blackberry Fields cover, but I also think all the others are beautiful. The chevron and the watercolor one are also beautiful. And the overall color scheme, the color family of all of these 2023 products is very soothing. The items in this collection are going to launch on October 20th. I do have an affiliate link for these products down in the video description. Right now it's just a general affiliate link, but I will put specific links so you can go directly to the products you're hoping to get before they sell out. And I really would appreciate it if you use my affiliate link if any of this was helpful to you. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it really does help me a lot. Plus, it just gives me a little bit of encouragement that what I'm doing here is not a waste of time, but that somebody is actually getting some value from it. I want to thank you guys for watching and hanging out as always. And let's look at all of it one more time. I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.